Oh, good afternoon, chat. I absolutely came prepared for today, I think. And by that I mean I started the stream and also decided to eat dinner at the same time. Which is like whatever, right? Because I'm hungry. Well, because, more or less, sort of just how things came together. But, for those who haven't seen this before, we're going to be jumping in to some Hero Forge custom miniatures. Just fun, relaxation. Just some vibes, just some chill out. What's today? Today's Sunday. You got a work week coming up. Still in pandemic times. And you're thinking, I don't want to go to work. That's okay. Now's to take that time for yourself. Sit back, kick back, and just enjoy just some amazing music. Who knows? Maybe get inspired along the way. So hope you guys are doing well for those that join. Or for those that are playing it back. Welcome. It's amazing to see you. The builds that we do today will definitely turn into another speed build. Like the last time. So, if you are watching this and you're like, holy shit, I do not want to watch 2.5 hours. You can either put this on 2 times speed, more or less, or I'm sure there's another video that will be coming up very shortly. Right after this stream finishes, and it will be like a speed build more or less of, well, I mean, of what we're doing. So let's jump into what we're doing. Last week we created Welma, for those who didn't see. Let's shuffle down to her. I'm sure you did see. If you didn't check out the screen on the Instagram, _BigBearBooks_. The underscores are important. We'll find the cheeky Welma, devious in nature, chaotic by blood, and, well, mischief by choice. So of course it's time for us to do a new one. And we're going through the campaign series of the last campaign that I ran. So we had a beautiful druid dragonborn. And I think the next player we might make is Dinky. A beautiful little rock gnome. I believe she was a rock gnome ranger. Rock gnome ranger? A rock gnome fighter. That's right. A rock gnome fighter that has, well, more or less specializes with a bow. Because who wants to play ranger? Everyone wants to play fighter with a bow. So, I suppose let's make a start on just relaxing, just vibing it with today. If you're in the chat, just let me know. Say hi. Don't be shy. Of course, you're probably popping in and thinking, who is this person? What are they doing? And will I be interested? Well, that's a very good question. I'm very good at making conversation. So if you throw someone in the chat, happily have a talk with you. See how you going? Just vibing. How do you love D&D? I love D&D. Talk about anything D&D. I just came from a session. Absolutely blitzing. Love D&D. What's your favorite class? What's your favorite race? Oh, maybe don't answer that question. That could turn into a hole. Don't cancel me. I'm like 4 streams in. Don't cancel me. Ashley Kitchen in the chat. I love you so much. You know I love you with all my heart. Absolute most consistent viewer ever. It's not true. I actually pay her. I pay her to specifically come into this chat and start conversation. Don't give me credit. I pay her. Alright. Let's get in. Let's have some fun. We're creating Dinky. Let's have a little look to see what we can do. Okay, so general base character. And the reason why I'm telling you this is context. I think the context is important because at any point through the stream, if you're thinking, hey, maybe this could be good, I'm open for suggestions. I'm not closed off. So, context. Dinky takes on more of the hermit trait. Though she grew up with two loving parents, she sort of rebelled against them, which turned against her when she spent most of her time on the street, by her choice, making it sort of harder for herself, as rebellious do. And it backfired when a horrible half-orc / half-giant raid came through their village, plundering it in fire. She never saw her parents after that. So let's see if we can't give Dinky, the fighter, with a bow and arrow, some love. A few different things I definitely want to try here. One is, especially with photography, I probably won't do it just to start off, but definitely with photography, I've discovered that it's actually kind of good. If you're interested in doing hero forge, again, I need to stop interrupting myself. It's good to create the person larger than the actual base that they're on. It's good because you sort of get a better shot of them. It's not about the base and then them. The base is good for like size comparison, especially when you do it, but for like when you actually play the character or you have them printed. But for the sake of aesthetic, it's actually not bad to just have them a little bit bigger. So there's a free tip. Let's have some fun. But first, let's take another mouthful of homemade lasagna. That's a very good question. How old was Dinky? Dinky was... Stone gnomes can actually live quite a long time. But I think for the sake of making the character not so complicated for a new D&D player, I do believe we set Dinky to be in her, like, early 20s? Or late 20s? But they can live for a long time. So she could have also been about 200. Let's have a little look. We want, not that. We don't want to look at that. We want a separate little thing here. And we want Stone Gnomes, D&D, 5e, age. Okay, so they can live 350 to 500 years. That's right, they mature at about 40. Okay, so they're sort of like Vidalkins as well. Except, it's like they can live 350 to 500. Vidalkins are like... They can't, like, they could. I don't know if it's the same wording. Because, like, saying you can live to 350 and saying you could live to 350, completely different. Can is like, oh, you can. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it would say if they would. They can live 350. Okay, I'm confusing myself. But needless to say, they're fine. They're fine. She's fine. I would say she may have even been in the hundreds or something like that. The town itself was quite quaint, and it was quite like secluded from the rest of the world. Even though, of course, like they still had involvement with the rest of the world and the trade that happened in the main city. They would have more or less been to themselves. So the happenings and development around the world would have sort of gone by as they just sort of just chill doing their own thing. I don't think they would have advanced too much more in those years. Even though, you know, 100 years, you sort of think, man, there's got to be a lot of advancement. Maybe not. Not necessarily. Alright, let's get into it, because we've just been on a blank screen for a bit. So, first, let's go all the way down to Dwarf Gnome Boom. Let's get that gnome action in there. Now, softness is there, but softness, toughness, softness, we want to give a little bit, I reckon, of that, a little bit of the that toughness to that softness. I think it's important. Just because it's like, even though she took the hermit, well, no, because she did take the hermit. So, you know, you're on the streets. I would say you're going to be a little bit rough and tough, but this also sort of plays into genetics. So, soft, we'll just jump it out a little bit. Alright. Now let's jump straight into the features. We can probably just skip ears. Ears are fine. We can always just rearrange them and whatever. Let's jump straight into the hair. Now, she was hooded, but we will give her a bit of hair. We'll say that she probably had something along the lines of just a bit of a longer head or a ponytail. Something a bit raggedy. I think that is actually not too bad. I sort of found that just straight off the bat. The, not medium afro. We got the shaggy. Life as an adventurer on the roads doesn't give a person many opportunities to visit a barber. I reckon like that. She wasn't on the road, but definitely think she definitely didn't go to the barber. Shovel down some more lasagna. Right. Hope you get some amazing ASMR of me eating. You think, I want to get a grip. I want to get an idea of this guy. On this streamer. What's he do? Okay, he plays Hero Forge. Okay. That's kind of cool. There's only miniatures, I can get behind that. And then you join. And it's just the sound of chewing. Amen. Dear God bless his food, his name, my man. That's some good shit right there. Alright. Shaggy will work here. I reckon. And if we need to fix it, we will. I think... I know it's going to be obscured by a bob. Not a bob, a hood. So we'll be fine. But I think the across the face, that's definitely going to work. No beard, eyebrows, raggedy. I say that because Stone Gnome variant. So I think to myself, well, would she have some Stone Gnome features? But maybe that will be just fine there. Eyes, teeth, horns, don't need. I can't necessarily think of anything that I would do in terms of the horns as an extension. I know for like a lot of other characters I have, some are obvious like Dragonborns, you put horns in. Even if you're putting horns in to also make like an addition to their hair. Or if you guys tuned into last stream and we saw Barbados, I used horns to make it look like his face was a little bit stony. So those are just some uses for the horns, but I don't think there's anything that's going to be needed here. We should be fine. Torso's fine, legs are fine. Measurements? Let's have a look. The height is already at its lowest. We don't want to make the head too much bigger or smaller. Maybe even just a little bit smaller there. Just to really emphasize. If we made it the smallest, no, just give it a little bit of size. Weight. She survived on her own. Maybe give it... we should probably stay where it is. Posture, probably not too great. But I also think that the pose I'll have her in might be a little bit more hunched over, drawing a bow. So we'll decrease the posture a bit. Build, upper scale, arm length. We don't need to worry about that. Masculinity. Might just give a little bit of beef to her shoulders, just to make it... yeah, that should be fine. Bust, I don't think is super important here. Could just knock it there, that's fine. Waist belly. I always like to give a bit of belly. It just makes it feel real. Like, if you knock it here, it's like, yeah. That's fine. Curves, booty, you know the golden rule? What's the golden rule? I mean, maybe you don't know the golden rule. The golden rule is booty. Always give a bit of booty. No matter who the character is they a good guy, they're a bad guy, they're the big bad endgame. You know, they're a new NPC, they're a friendly, always got to give a bit of booty. Skeletons? Bit of booty. Gotta. You know, zombies who have no flesh. You know, they don't have muscle. Save that last bit. That last bit of that flesh is in the booty. Always got to have a bit of booty. A bit more booty than you want. Alright, wings, tail, etc. I don't think I'll be using any of these. At least, not at first glance, I don't think I will be. As an extension. I think he's pretty straightforward in terms of, like, character. I think what will make Dinky stand out is her skin. Just how it's sort of designed with the... just with the, like, the stone gnome texture. Or rock gnome, I should say. I say stone gnome because stone gnome is like stone gnome. It's just easier to say. And she was largely based off the, I'm pretty sure, like, the gnome race D&D 5th edition book. Sort of just used as a as a first basis. So I sort of use that to design. Her ears were probably a little bit more pointier. Her hair was a little bit probably more longer. But we'll put I think we'll put a hood on, then we'll go back. Let's have a look. But let's get this sorted. Clothing. First we want to pose. We want to pose that. And what I might do to start us off is start us with a bow. She had a very special bow that was way bigger than her. Carved wooden bow, perhaps? Twisted wood. It would have been something nice. We've got a metal flame bow. Not a bone bow, that's a bit demonic bow. It does look demonic, doesn't it? I was really hoping that this bow would... Well, I was hoping that the design of it would look cool, but now all I can see is the demonic. Like, the design is cool. It could be not demonic. We could do something like that. Maybe. What else we got? Flame... Crystalline? That's pretty cool. What else? You know what I don't have? This is so... Let's have this right now. I don't have a beautiful chat box for... Yeah, we'll put that here. Just adding a chat box. For you guys, because, you know, I've got this all down, and don't even have a place to chat. We'll bring you up here. Why not? So we can see chat and we can also see here. So, crystalline, I think that's maybe too much. And then short bow, long bow. It was just a long bow, but that kind of looks kind of boring. I like the design of... Let's do that one. Although, what the longbow does have over is that it's huge. She did have a like absurdly huge bow. Like, it was ridiculous. It did drag as she walked. It was a bit of a hindrance there. So let's do this pose. You know what, we'll use the longbow for now. And what pose do we want her in? That's actually not bad. That makes sense, because it's like, she needs something to sort of hold on to with the bow being so big. I would do it something like that if the legs were in a bit of a crouch position, but I kind of like this. That's actually kind of wicked. So let's just ignore that her foot's just going straight through that, and let's go straight to the... Let's go straight to the clothing. This one might not take as long, but before we jump in, chocolate break. If you have an Aldi, or at least if you're based in Western Australia. Not Western Australia, I don't even know why I said Western Australia specifically. Australia, if you're based in Australia. Grab yourself some Aldi dark chocolate. Just some chill Animal Crossing music. And Aldi chocolate. That shit just bangs. Like, you can't get better than that. I'm sure you can, but... Shit, does that not clap? Alright. Let's jump straight in. Well, I got some nice... Oh, I definitely know where I can utilize that hat. Tattered Hex Weaver hood. Oh yeah. I got a character that's definitely going to go on. Some pretty cool helmets. God damn. But we just want to keep it simple. We want to hood it, but we kind of want to hood it with hair, right? But it's not going to allow us to do that, is it? See, these old hoods are not good. These old ones here. I mean, they probably serve their purpose. But, not good here. Perhaps we shan't hood her up. Alright. It just sort of takes too much away from her. So instead, let's give her some memorable hair. That seems about right. That gives like a bit of a rebellious touch. So maybe she did go to the barber after all. She got her head half shaven. And then she realised she had no money. A few copper pieces. But they were going to be for dinner. So she ran out. See, from this side you've got the dinky that I think definitely was played. And then on this side you got the dinky that was intended to be played. As far as her ears go, gnome ears. Yeah. I think like something like that could definitely work as well. But the gnome ears are about the same size, they're just a bit bigger. So we won't go head, we probably won't go shoulders as of yet. I tend to try to pick the clothes first. Because I don't know, shoulder pads just add a little bit too much. If when you start with them, you sort of then try to compensate for them. So let's go with just something comfy. Something that perhaps will cut off at the shoulders. Not a ninja top. Ninja shirt. Ninja shirt could be good if it's mixed with something here. Ooh. That's nice, but it does interact with her face poorly. I actually do like these tattered hexweaver collar mantle. They're actually kind of cool. Perhaps we can do a little something here. With her head. Maybe just like a tilt. I think it's fine that her hair's coming out the it's like whatever. It is what it is, but I think the face, mainly the face being obscure, that's one thing. Really, I could just tilt it more, make it more like every goddamn movie where they shoot an arrow, their face is like this. Their face is like this. That's Katniss Everdeen, like that, sniffing the goddamn bow. If you think I'm wrong, I dare you to prove me wrong. Every movie where someone has a bow and arrow, even in the Marvel TV shows and movies, always got their nose, their mouth right next to the bow. I'm not an expert. I'm pretty sure that's not how it's done. You cut yourself like that. But you're mostly going to be using it from like this angle and this angle, so it's not going to matter too much that her chin is technically on it. We're not going to go into that much detail. That's fine. Her face is pretty much out of the sleeve here. It's sort of half covered, so I think that's kind of mysterious and kind of cool. And we got ourselves a chest piece that's under, over, and then maybe like a little necklace. Just a little something, a little dog collar. Or something. Perhaps something... I mean, I can't use any of the scarves, although I can use this scarf. Although that sort of interacts pretty poorly. I mean, whatever we put there, you're not going to be able to see it. But why not give that a little bit extra detail? You know? Let's go for something furry here. Why not? Alright. For gloves. I think we want more arm guards. Ooh. tattered hexweaver glove. Again, super cool, but I don't want gloves. I want something more along the lines of arm guards. Let's have a little look. Bone wrist? No, a little bit dramatic. Maybe something. Oh, that would be nice. Leaf gauntlets, but just without the gauntlet part. Well, without the hand part. The gauntlet part was actually what I was looking for. This will be our first design. That will be the first choice, and that will probably be the last choice, to be honest. I mean, I could go something like druid gauntlets, but it's a little bit too. It's not what I want. Flat out. There's no reason. It's just not what I want. Could do normal brace, but it's not as textured as much. These are more like hexy, techy. These are a little bit too much. Kung Fu Monk arms are not bad. These aren't bad. Honestly, I think I'm just scrolling through them like, oh, which one will I pick? But I already know that's just going to be these ones. They're fine. That's pretty nifty. Shit looks pretty badass. Then we want legs. And, oh my god, tattered hexweaver. It's actually kind of cool, because you kind of think like, oh, skull, right? Like, oh, like the hexweaver, necromancer, but also, like, it's a symbol of, like, it's just a symbol that, like, a teen would wear. Or, like, that of a rebellious nature would wear, which makes so much sense. And I do like how up here it sort of all connects. Like, that connects and that's, like, the belt and then it's continuous here. I actually really like that. Holy shit, it's like the first one as well. Tattered hexweaver wrap. There's so many to choose from. But dead set, that's how I want to go. And I guess it just goes well with the tattered thing here. It's nice. But the next thing we will do won't be tattered hexweaver. As cool as these are, and as actually... Oh god, I've clicked on them now and I'm like, oh no. Those actually are really good. Oh no. Let's try to be a little bit different. I'm like, the armor set, that tattered weird shit is just so good. Let's see if we can get some boots. Maybe with a pointier foot. That's the goal, it's not pointy enough. These? No. Ew, gross. Oh goodness, I'm gonna get to the very bottom and I'm gonna think everything is just gonna be tattered weave, isn't it? These ones? Okay, desert armor boots, they're alright, they got a little something something there. But you're kicking me, aren't you? They're just not as good as... I mean, these might be good. You're joking. I distinctly was like, I'm gonna grab something different. It's not just gonna be a whole armor set. Damn! Look at them though! They're so good. Good texture, good foot shape. I think that's what I was looking for. A lot of these boots and shoes make people's feet look way bigger than they are. And that's not a giant problem because she is a rock gnome and they might have a little bit larger feet. Although they're pretty proportionate. They're not like dwarves. Dwarves are pretty disproportionate, at least with their feet. But with gnomes, they're pretty proportionate when it comes to like every part of their body. I mean, it differs depending on how you want to create a character. Some might have like a big belly, or might have like a big obscured nose. Again, it's down to you. I don't think we'll do a mask. We should be fine there. Dang. I'm not mad that I was like, oh, everything is the tattered hexweaver, but I was like, damn, I want to get creative and put some new combinations together. I mean, it is new. You can't deny that it isn't new. Well, you can't deny that it is new, I should say. Okay, hand, side, back. We don't... I mean, side probably has like a dagger on the side, right? Always got to have a plan B. And B stands for butter knife. Gotta have a plan butter knife. Too big? Oof. Probably not. Sheathed rapier. Would seem a bit more appropriate, right? Scalbard, sword in Scalbard, Gladius in Scalbard, short sword. Yeah, probably that, right? That makes sense. That doesn't look too horrid. Maybe it might look better on the other hip. I mean, I say that because, like, I'm also thinking of the action that she's doing here, and she's specifically, like, arching her body to shoot an arrow. So she's got confidence that what she's doing isn't going to be hindered, and if there's that there, I mean, maybe she's formidable with her ability, and she's like, oh no, I'm not going to be hindered by that. I feel like you'd sort of crush onto that, and it would sort of affect your bow. But it also does look cooler there. That's not too bad there. Well, she's shooting with her left hand, so she's left dominant. I mean, she could be ambidextrous. It's fast to say. If anything, she probably would grab her sword with the left hand, which means unsheath it from the right. I mean, that's just very simple. It's not like you could unsheath the sword from under you, especially if it's small or if it's a dagger, but this one's a little bit bigger, so we'll keep it on that side. Inserting logic to try figure shit out. I think for a cape, I think it would definitely be cool to have like some sort of cool cape that doesn't interfere with this. So maybe the wind is blowing against her, her hair is a little bit back and pushed down. Perhaps so can something like this. Something tattered perhaps? Tattered cape, animal skin cloak. Okay, we want probably... Oh. Oh, I see the difference. Oh, that's a hard choice. Probably this one, right? A little bit more put together. Maybe even this. I do favour this one. I favour it just because it's like, it's small, it gets the point across, but it doesn't interfere with anything else. I put on everyone though. I really do. Like stuff like this could definitely work. And I could just shift it so it looked like it was blowing in the wind a different direction. But that's not bad either. I'll stick with that for now. Back atoms, of course we have to have a quiver. For sure. Quiver, embroidered quiver, or elven quiver. I think those will be fun. No need for all the schmancy pantsy. You got a quiver. Shoot it. Cool. What else we got? Let's have a look. It is. Although, Reese, I just see your message now. Which one is the cooler capes? I'm sort of like half rambling on, and I'm sort of like in my own head, like, what am I doing? I'm putting stuff together, and I think I just like went to a completely different dimension there. I sort of was just like so zoned out, and then I was like picking capes. I think going between the three I was going through, or just like put me in like a hypnotic state, and then I came out and I was like, oh shit, I'm streaming. The small flowy one? Yeah, definitely. For sure. It's nice. It doesn't obscure things, and it's sort of... I mean, I like to really play... It seems like a little bit over the top, because it's one thing to create a character, but it's another thing, which is what I'm going to say, which was over the top. It's another thing to, like, I give purpose... I try to give purpose to everything. And so I think, like, well, it's going to have one or two things. Like, an item is going to have one or two reasons. One, it's... At least when you're starting out characters, but again, either it's sentimental and it's given to you by someone who actually takes care of things, or it's damaged by your environment. So like, for instance, I had a paladin once where he he himself was sort of like, his gear that he was wearing was kind of like shit, hand-me-down, half plate armor. But then he got a trident, which was like his real dad's trident. And that was like pristine. Like it'd been taken care of, he'd never touched it, you know, one of those like things. And so it was like, it looked like he was really cool, but you know, his environment determined his clothing, but then the items he had were like given to him. So for this one, I like to think that given on the hermit side of things and her taking care of herself, Dinky would have more or less faced a lot of different stuff. And I think having a long cape or like a bigger cape would have just been obscuring, and I mean, it could have been used to her advantage, like hiding and stuff like that, but I kind of think the attitude she has is I don't give a shit, which is kind of represented with like, I have a really huge bow that's way too big for me. I don't give a shit. I have a, you know, even though I'm in this like, almost like, I picture like the Hobbit sort of fields and houses. It's quite beautiful. It's very green, very lush. And then like there's just this one gnome running around with like a skull for a belt buckle. So it's like, oh yeah, she's definitely the Black Swan. So I don't think she would really give a shit about this. And like, perhaps this can be interpreted as maybe it was a longer cape, but now it's just been sort of ripped up and sort of made small. Perhaps she tried to get away from somewhere, or she was stuck and she had to rip it. Perhaps that could even be a part of that backstory, you know? You know, she had a sentimental cape that she got from her mother. It's the only thing that she took away, and perhaps that cape kept her warm on those colder nights that she had to sleep out on the street. And perhaps in doing some roughest bullshit, she got trapped and she had to get away, otherwise she was going to get caught. She had to rip it. And it breaks her heart. And it's the only thing that she has of her mother's. I mean, that's a very, very typical, like... it's very typical, like, my family's missing, but I have something of theirs. It's like, yeah. So that's that. There you go. There's some background for you there. I want to get into colouring. That's the best bit. And hopefully I won't zone out so much. I'm like... even just looking at those capes, genuinely, I was picking between those three, and I'm pretty sure I was talking, but I don't remember talking. I just remember, like, I somehow, like, just went out of it. Anyways, eyes. Nice. A bunch of pro stuff that we can't use, but that's okay. I definitely think I want to get pro soon. It would definitely be super cool. I find that most things that are pro, though, tend to, like, come out anyway, like, a few days, or even maybe, like, a week or two later. So yeah. Pro. I need to get pro. And thank you. Yes, making backstory. I think it makes sense when you make a backstory for someone. It allows you to understand the character, and I think when you understand the character, you then get a better sense of like how they would dress or how they might look. Because again, this is a creation that someone else did. So it's like, I want to do it justice, but at the same time, like, you know, what's your interpretation of that? But I definitely need to get, yes, the camera stuff. That's the you're on it, Reese. That's the shit I need. I need because I'm pretty sure you can do like the lighting. And I'm pretty sure with Pro, you can now do 2 people together or some shit, which is amazing. I'm like, wow. Like, you can have groups of 2 people, so you can have, like... You can have a warlock and then the deity that they're under. Depending on how good you are, you can sort of create that. Or you can do, like... Something that I want to work on, which I just came up with right now, is, like... 2 people, and they're the same person, but, like, before and after a tragic event. You know, before and after a house... You know, let's just do a very typical, like, backstory. Before and after, like, a fire that wiped out. I mean, that's Dinky. Literally, that's Dinky. That wiped out their village. So it's like, what do they look like before? What do they look like after? Perhaps it could also be, like, a changeling. You could sort of show 2 of their most favorite changes. That could be something. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna change that. I do apologize. Let me change that on Streamlabs. That is so dog. It's like, you send too many messages, like, no! How dare you! Let me change that for you, Reese. Like, I can't believe you're interacting with the chat. How dare you? Too many messages. Getting rid of it. Let me change that for you. That's pretty BS. I think that happened on the desktop version. Let's grab this. Dashboard. Let's get this up here. I'll fix that elsewhere so you guys don't have to look at that. Let's go into... What are we going into? Get into them settings. Themes and overlays, all widgets, blah 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 blah. Chat. Just thinking about that is so funny. She's like, actually no. Like, you can't actually send messages. But I did it, like, I was like, I genuinely thought when I had that setting on, like that bot setting, I genuinely thought that the purpose of that was going to be like, if someone's like spamming every 3 seconds, and they're like, blah 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 blah, then it's like, oh, okay. And like, you know, get rid of them. But it's like, no, you're just interacting. It's like, nah, we don't want any of that actually. But look, no one's going to be spamming in the chat. That's fine. But let me change that, because, goddamn. Bear with me while you stare at Dinky. I genuinely don't know where this is as well. Alertbox themes and designs. Cloudbot, I'm pretty sure. Symbol, link, word protection, paragraph. Prevents viewers from sending overly lengthy messages. Get out of here. Get rid of that. Restricts words from appearing on chat and adds words to your blacklist. No, that's fine. Restricts viewers from spamming messages with too many symbols. Guys, don't do too many symbols. If we run into that issue, we'll do it. But we'll be fine. Hopefully that changes immediately. And hopefully it does that. We'll find out. But the messages, it's funny because the messages, I like how it sends a message saying, Reese, please refrain from sending long messages. Like, shut up. Shush. Do whatever the hell I want. You layer clothes and hairstyles on top of each other, leaves for some great... Oh! I didn't even think about that! Because, yeah, 100% with the whole clothing situation, like in the... Where you've got, like, under, over, and neck. Like, that made it so amazing to have, like, over. But the only downside is, like, some of the under stuff, you can't have over stuff. Which is kind of dog. I think that would definitely be like an amazing, like, a lot of the tactical gear and big beefy stuff that could have some really cool, like, fur over the tops and stuff like that to make him look like warriors. Like, I think of like the warriors from Wakanda. Like, they've got like you could have like beefy or like metallic undergarments, and then on top of it you've got some like fur and stuff as well. I'll have to look at these references. I will have to look at these references. Please send them through. Send me a DM on Instagram. Amen. Because, yeah, blending two people together. Here I'm thinking like, oh, so many cool things you can do with 2 people. But yes, put both into one, make some serious shit. But I think it definitely makes good for like the storytelling aspect. Because it's definitely nice to have two people of the... Like, 2 people that are associated with each other, like 2 friends. But I think, yeah, blending them in so they're like together, or... having like a you know, someone in their patron or deity. Yeah, that would be cool. I reckon it could be even cool. I got an example. I'll show you an example. Let's rename Dinky. We'll come back to Dinky. But I use the multiple arms ability to create this. Absolutely save the changes to the character. I can't believe I nearly didn't save her. So what, this is my current D&D champion lol character, Barbados. This is him transforming, like, because he's a druid. So I tried to make it like, okay, you've got like the typical things. You've got like the horn, which is like whatever. And then you've got like the leg here, which is nice that you can do the feet, and the tail, so that's like a growing thing. But then this is, I copied this from an amazing artist. Again, you'll have to forgive me, I don't have it. But I sort of took what they did and sort of tried to blend it up myself. So this is just multiple arms. I think there's like, I'm using all 3 arms. And then just gave it like the skeleton look. And then of course that is a spell, which makes it look like the actual hand when you color it correctly. And then here it just looks like stuff. I know these are meant to be like flowers, but I'm trying to make it like almost like a twisted symbiote sort of idea. So like, you know that he's about to turn into like maybe like a dark lion. I mean, 5 fingers. 5 fingers, so maybe like, I don't know. Maybe the transformation isn't complete. I'm like, what transforms and has 5 fingers? A great ape. There you go. Maybe like a dark great ape, or like an ape, which I think is over CR2. I think great ape is something that that's really good to transform into when it comes to like polymorph, but I don't know what the prerequisites are when it comes to druid, but I definitely think it's over CR2. Yes, well, try to make multiple arms to make combined weapons. I think that's a definitely good idea. Yeah, shit like that is so complicated. Like, even like, I would definitely like to try the multiple weapons thing. Because you've got, yeah, wow, you could like combine bows and different swords as well. Man, just the positioning is crazy. Which is why I've learned, definitely the hard way, to do all that shit first. Because I'm like, I give them all these clothings and stuff like that, and then I go into something like that, and it's just like, I reposition it, and it just ruins the whole thing. And I've seen some amazing creations out there, and they don't even look like they're straight from Hero Forge. And you sort of think, how did this person do it? And then you give the character a new position, and you're like, oh, that's where their legs are, that's where their head is. It's absolutely insane. Now that you said that, though, I'm wondering, maybe let's get the basics down. We'll get the basics down for this, and then we'll see if we can add something like extra. Gear. We got the quiver, we got the bow, we got some standard stuff. We got the sword on the side. Always got to have a melee option. Always. I definitely think on the side, on a other side, maybe a pouch of some sort. And I like how out of light it just has a glow stick. But I'm pretty sure somewhere else, like not historical, somewhere they give you like a lantern. And it's like, what? How's that not in light? I'm not sure it is though. Nanotech cane. Absolutely dope. Western? I don't know, it feels kind of like, oh, typical, throw a pouch on her. So I kind of want to give her something like, maybe, sometimes it is better to just leave it a little bit blank. Oh, that is too big. Well, not really, not like in the grand scheme of things. Did she steal a pouch of money? It's not pro though. I've seen it. Like I've used it on a character. And it's not pro, but I'm not too sure where it is. I mean, okay, so it's not where modern? Is the lantern that modern? For real? You have a P90. Modern submachine gun. Okay, you got a P90. It better not be in the modern section. Oh, you know, lanterns. And P90s. I mean, they might have definitely around in the same era, but definitely not created in the same era. Maybe a lock? Next to the crossbow category? Yeah, no, light. You hit light, but okay, show all. So that that's just the glow stick. It's bullshit. It's bull, I tell you. I know I've seen it though. Oh, what is this? Was that a gun holster? I was like, oh yeah. I know. I used it. Who did I use it for? Oh. Nope. I definitely used it. I definitely used it on one of my other characters, and I can just deadass. Let's just go all, and just see if. Like, I know this is going super fast, but they're like a lantern's a lantern. How are you gonna miss that? The silence as we like it. This is taking up 100% of my focus. To go through this as quickly as possible, because I hate it that I have to do it. But also I'm like, come on. I'm not getting to the end of this and then not seeing a lantern. I will actually lose my shit. It should be in here. It has to be in this like specific section of items. There's a goddamn heart. guns, maracas. You will give me a lantern. I'm not even using the lantern. I don't even want to equip the lantern. But at this point, I'm like, you better give me the lantern. So help me God, I will find this item. Just simply because I know it's here. I'm done. I'm done with this. Okay. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Look. Look. He has it. He has a lantern. Oh, you know what? Bruh. It's because it's in his hands. And I was looking at the side. Fucking idiot. I'm like, I know it has it! I know it has it! But it's because I'm looking at the side and not the hands. Because if I got the hands and I go on the lights, none deske. There you go. Shit, they got an energy cell. Idiot. Not smart. But why can't any of these be attached by the hip? Like Western style lantern, that should totally be attachable by the hip. Holy shit, look at that lock. So unintentional. But I kind of want to keep it. But look at this. What? Yes, you can hold them, but like, what? I mean, maybe the bigger ones, like the standard lantern. Like, okay, you maybe got to hold that. But like, energy cell, flashlight. Come on, that shit's got to be attached by the hip. And for some reason, I really want to keep this lock here. It doesn't make sense. And her character had nothing to do with it. Like that she wasn't like a rogue or anything. So it's not like it's like, oh, big lock for some random reason. I'm trying to think how big this lock would actually be. In the size of like a humanoid of like a. I always find it hard to like say normal height. There's no such thing as normal height. Not in this shit. I'm always like, oh, you know, somewhat of normal height. What is normal height, Stephen? What's a normal height for a stone gnome? None. A humanoid, 6 foot. I'm just saying, I'm going to compare everything to 6 foot. I wonder what it would look like in the hands of someone that was 6 foot. I mean, you're like, if you back out here, 6 feet is basically like up here where the cursor is, sort of thing. Even actually, maybe like up here. So that lock is still huge. I stand by it. It's not just big because she's a stone gnome. Or rock gnome, I should say. A scroll accessory? Look! Stop right there. Stop right there, criminal. You have violated the law. Yes, but also, like, that's a bias. I try not to be biased. Not because, like, I'm specifically tall. Oh, 6'2". It doesn't even matter. Even I had to just say 6'2". It doesn't even matter. It's... We're talking D&D. You know what? Maybe she's tall for a stone gnome. Rock gnome. I'm gonna call her stone gnome. That's just how it is. And she's gonna have a scroll. Something might better come up, but I think a scroll could be nice. Why? Who knows? Maybe she's on a bounty. Taking jobs. There's a job scroll. Just like that. Here I'm like, come to my channel. Watch me create miniatures that have rich story and background and detail. And then you come to the stream and you see scroll accessory because fuck you. That's what I'm putting there. I could scroll through each single item and be like, oh, the saber would be a nice side option because she was a... No, fuck you. I'm doing a scroll. Who thought that Hero Forge would get so aggressive? Definitely not me. Definitely not my intention. But then you had to bring my height into it. And I got defensive. Which is not something that a 6'2" human would normally do. You know, that's normally reserved for the... I'm not going to complete that sentence. On the simple basis that I how's the weather out there? Honestly, it's hot. It's hot, man. Just, the heat rises. And it's hot. It's goddamn hot. But we're getting off track. Dinky has some scrolls because she needs work. We need to color her in. Although I always find this is like the hardest part, because I get to this part where I've done all the designing, at least temporary. I mean, sort of that draft basis, and I'm like, oh, she looks really good. And then I go to color, and I'm like, please don't fuck up the coloring, because as she looks right now, she looks great. And then you go to color, and you're like, just don't fuck up the coloring, because it completely changes the look. Like, you think this looks good? If you think this looks good, please think this looks good. If you think it looks good, as soon as you add coloring, it's like, ugh, blah. It can ruin it instantly. Eyes, no. We discussed this before. Mouth, we should be fine. Keep her mouth open. Rings, kind of unnecessary. I could do a typical, like, here's my mother's ring. No. I think she keeps her hands free. She's using a goddamn bow. Piercings, yes. And here's why. Did the original character have a piercing? No. Does the person that played her have a piercing? Yes. She does. So let's give her a nose piercing. Which, though I don't have a nose piercing personally, that doesn't look right. I mean, look at that shit. That's like... The prettiest colors kill me. Ah, yes. Pink, yellow, and blue clothes on my rogues. Look, it doesn't matter what color they're wearing. If they roll a good roll, they're not going to be seen. And that should annoy your DM. You're like, I'm wearing neon yellow. And yes, why can that color exist? Because you have yellow, and then you just get a mage to just make it neon. Do something. And neon yellow that shines bright, and you're a rogue, so screw the disadvantage on that. And then, exactly, blinds the enemy, they can't see, and then you run. And they're like, well, we either just saw a very close star, or we saw nothing. Because, you know, someone in pink just like yeeted straight by us. It does, doesn't it? Well, it's because I guess because it has to be printed. So, like, if you look at this, also, who gets a nose piercing? Okay, now I'm going into personal territory. I'm going to start asking questions that are like, who gets a nose piercing that big? And someone's like, actually, I do. Fuck you. I'm like, I'm so sorry. But no, that nose piercing is huge. And then if you go like something like this, it's because it needs to be like printed with the miniature. But if I go into even if I go into advanced, I can't gear piercings. I can't even adjust it to like the middle of the nose. That's where I want it. I want it in the middle of the nose. No, I don't want the ears. Not yet. Sorry. Awkward. Nose piercing. Oh, okay. This is the middle. Right. Dumb. Let's get rid of that. It is a weird growth. Well, you live on the streets for a while. Let's go... Oh, sheesh. Again, like, I wish you could resize these as well. Yes! Absolutely. Because, like, that's a very big nose ring. Will I keep it? Yes. Because it's what we got. But if you could resize that to the actual shape of their nose, that would be amazing. Because, like, you can see, like, in there, it's like, man, that... She ain't breathing, man. Get her a doctor. She's gonna suffocate. She's gonna get her points of exhaustion like that, just like that. It's gonna be insane. She won't be able to breathe. She's a mouth breather constantly, every day. And then we will give her maybe some high earrings. We'll give her 2 on this ear, because the other side, that's obscured by hair. Can't do that. Can't put some earrings there, but we'll do it on the left-hand side here. That makes sense. And do we want a belly button ring? Well, unfortunately, I can't. But I would, because the best part about belly button rings is not showing them. It's just getting one, and then not showing anyone. Close it off. Get rid of it. All right. We want round, and we don't want a label. Not yet. Okay. Pose color. Oh god. Here we go. Let's get this shit done. Now, she is a rock gnome, but even so, unlike Ganassis, Hero Forge is the reason I got my ear pierced. Bro. You're gonna have to stop playing Hero Forge, because they're gonna be releasing some shit. You know what? Hot damn! I'm gonna get my everything pierced. As long as your piercing doesn't look like this. Not because it looks bad, but because that's just not good for you, man. You're not gonna be able to breathe. Not like that. Okay, coloring, the bane of my existence, and I say that because now I'm on the road for it. Got that. Love it. Now she is a stone gnome, but the skin color is general humanoid skin color. I'm pretty sure. Like, of course, you can have your own, like, some probably rock, like, more tanned. Or you could even probably go for, like, a grey. But for the most part, the skin color is generally, like, a cream or a tan. Like, just, again, a place where you want to say the word normal, but that doesn't exist. I found it difficult explaining my... Excuse me while I yawn. My Earth Ganassi, because I'm like, he's not... His skin isn't dark. It's not even skin, it's like Earth. So it's like, how do you explain that? What we want from our beautiful dinky here is... Not stubble. We don't want stubble. We want maybe a little something something. Like... Oofed. Big oofed. This could be something. I haven't worked much with the eyeshadow stuff here, but this stuff could be good. But I think... what I want is for her to have two different things. So I believe in order to achieve that, we will do, let's say this one, and we'll go to color it, and we'll delete that, and then layer B, we'll go back down and do... Wait, shit. I deleted the wrong layer. Delete this one, and we'll give this one like a... just like a brown? Maybe like an olive. Maybe like an olive. For now. Placeholder. Then we'll go back down. And we'll grab this one. And then in this one, we'll remove that. And that. So it's a little bit like up and down. And then for this one... Oh, no, obviously we delete that one, so... we want maybe an olive and a... Oof. Good question. What do I want? Uniform black primer, uniform black glossy? Perhaps we just keep it like that. Do I find myself using the same stuff? Actually, absolutely. And it's kind of annoying. It's annoying because you create a good combination and then you're like, shit. I'll show you an example. I love these tangents. Save this. So, let's jump into Barbados here. So this is the desert outfit I gave Barbados, and I fell in love instantly with this top, because just of all the layers. So you've got layer number 1, you're gonna have to forgive me, I don't know why, I'm yawning like a motherfucker. I'm gonna need some energy, need some pumping up. So, there's one layer under here, and then you got an extra layer on top, like a nice little cardigan, and then it comes up here, and blah 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 blah, or whatever, etc etc etc. Then you got this nice belt, and I think what I use more isn't, because obviously the top and the bottoms are different. The bottom is what I use more. So the chains, the rope, the the blah blah blah, and then you got the back here, blah 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 blah. Okay, so that's number one example, right? Then I was creating my new D&D character, and I was like, let's make him different. I said like an idiot. I was like, let's make him different. Yeah, different. And where is he? He should be right here. Boom. Oh. And I was like, oh, I'll try something different. How about the exact same shit? The same top, with the same, buckle that comes down there, same belt, and same this stuff. I was like, I love it. I just changed the top. Be the one arm rip. I was like, yeah, I love it. It's just so good, because there's so many layers and so many textures. And just looking at the examples that I have up here, I'm pretty sure everything else is relatively different. I don't think I've tried the same thing twice. Yeah. It's all like, yeah. But I definitely consider it. I definitely look at it and I'm like, oh god. I'm not doing. I mean, even this. Look at this. Boom. Let's look at Uni. Uni's got that same overtop with the one arm rip. Like what? Like, get good. Design a bit more. Design a bit more creatively. Thank you very much. No. Not in my house. Not where I'm from. Right now, we're going to stick with the olive eyes. I don't know why. I want them to be black, but I don't want I want her to not be like, even though that she's got like this rebellious gear on, I don't want her to be like full rebel, like goth rebel. But maybe that's just who she is. Oh shit, I'm doing it. I knew I was going to do it. And yet I went to stop myself from doing it, but okay, we're not doing this, we're doing uniform black primer. I want to go glossy. Glossy is going to stand out. I was like, I'm not going to do it, and then I do it. Boom, let's check it out. We kindly interrupt you in this service with Instagram shenanigans. Let's have a little look. God damn, that's a handsome man. God damn. Yeah, exactly. Like, holy shit. You know what? That looks sick. That's like... Okay, so for a description for those, because obviously I don't have a webcam. What I like here is the wrapping scarf. That's quite a thick wrap scarf. And then you've got a very big shoulder pad on one arm. That's really cool. I also like the arm positioning, how it's right behind the sword. God damn. Again, like... So when I put, like, for instance, the dinky into a preset position here, I'm like, oh, what a cool position. But it's not what it could be. It's not what it could be. Especially with, like... just how you can change the body around. So, but I'm going to set it to this because I just think that the pose is cool, but it's like, whatever. Let's go into some paints. I think for decals, I don't think there's much more we want to do. I wanted to just give her a bit of like that face makeup. And maybe, yeah, it's insane. Like, absolutely insane. With that photo that you sent. That's crazy. But then also, it's like, there's always those small tricks that I'm trying to find. Like, it looks like they also may have reduced their head size as well to make the cloth wrap look bigger, but not like, oh, the head's small, it's just the cloth wrap's big. I don't know. There's some serious shit that they do. I so apologize for yawning. I'm like, I'm going to stream. And then I just yawn. It's like, oh man, this guy. He's out there. He's producing that good shit. Face modifications? Hell yeah. Let's bring some ombre hair into this bitch. She needs it. Let's go for a... standard light hair, brown cashew, followed by, and then, oh no, because then that's like white. Oh no, but we can fix it with its own. We'll go with like a walnut? No. We'll go with like a shiitake brunette. Right, okay, make the normal human size like 7 to 8 feet tall. It makes the head and the body more natural. It does! It does. Shit, I got another example of that. Let me pull up an example. I save it like every 3 seconds and I'm like, I got an example of this. Pause what I'm doing. Okay, so let's do this. Let's try an example. Let's do Bruscus. Because Bruscus is a half-orc, so relatively large anyway. So if we go body, measurements. So he's already pretty tall, right? And if I whack him up even bigger... So now he's at 11 foot. Like when you first glance at him, you're like, oh, that's 11 foot, that's huge. But then also like, if you try look at it without looking at the base, it doesn't really make a difference. Like their head size, obviously. When you make him so, look at that! He looks like a grunt! That's so fucking hilarious. That, you don't want to face that. You do not want to run into that. Holy shit. Okay, so obviously the head stays the same, but it's the body. And so if we take him to his actual size of like 6 foot, probably, okay, no, he's large, so I made him like 7. I made him like 7'5", right? And that's pretty standard. Like you look at that and you're like, oh yeah. But then you make him like 11 foot, and the head kind of actually looks more proportionate. It looks way better. And I think it's not just about the head. The head, technically, look at that. For me, it's not about the size of the body. Because for me, the size of the body doesn't change. What changes is the size of the armor. Because look at that. That's a big, beefy shoulder pad compared to like if I have him at like 7 foot. Like it's still big. Maybe it is the head. Maybe it's just the head in comparison. Because like the head is sort of like your measurement, right? You're like, oh, that that plate is as big as his head. Like you could put that over his head and you'd cover his face, right? Whereas if he was like down to 7 foot, shit, it's pretty much the same thing. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking out of my fucking ass now. But like, I don't know. It looks better. I'm just gonna say it looks better. It looked maybe more realistic. I don't know. Let's get back to Dinky. Dinky is going to stay small. Although, less. Don't save. We'll come back to it. If we really need to change it, we'll change it. Yeah, okay. Thank you for sending me him at default size. It just... Yeah, and I think when you've also got like fantasy role-playing games like D&D, like it's one thing to want to make them look realistic, but they're never going to. You have like weird creatures and even humans that have got like weird body morphs and stuff like that, so it's like it's gonna look weird anyway, no matter what. And like that first one that you sent, like he looks like tall, lanky, and a little bit like, whoa, what's behind that outfit? Because he doesn't look quite, I suppose, normal in his initial build. But it makes like the character a whole different type of like character, which is kind of crazy. What happens if we make Dinky tall? Holy shit. Look at that. That fucking head ain't gonna be obscure. Look at that. She's turned into a god. That's almost like a... Look at that. That's insane. And that's her head being way too big. Anyways, we've had our fun. I mean, again, like, the size in which this character is up to your interpretation. When the body's like that and the head's like that, it's easy to be like, okay, she's short, because you're comparing it to the base. But like, you could be like this and be like, oh, that's tall and big, but then you could like hella zoom out and, you know, it's like, well, it's small again. But we'll just keep it short, just for the now, until we learn some more tricks of the trade. Then we'll go to it. But let's continue in coloring. And I say let's continue like we started. Okay, let's get this hair done. We want something maybe along these lines. Oofed. Not going as well as I thought it would. Ooh. What do we got here? Okay, it's going in the, it's good. I think I just want the pecan. Maybe almond? Yeah, it sort of highlights the fact that that's lighter. Although the pecan... Generally you want the darker bits to be on the outside. At least the idea that like, oh, it's growing out and it used to be dark. But I think that's alright. Perhaps you've got like, you know, a... Alright, here's the bullshit for you. Here's where it comes in. The dark hair close to the roots is natural, and it's healthy. But the hair on the outside, now that's weak. There you go. That's why it's white, or whiter and brittle. There you go. Alright, let's get her eyes done. And we want some beautiful green eyes. These green eyes? No. They suck. They're gross. Ugh. What we want is some better designed eyes. We want, first and foremost, not to play with that because that's shit. We want to get more detail. So low, low, mid. We want to be a little bit more green, and then the high we'll touch a little bit lower, just that touch bit. And for the low, we probably want to make the shadows just a bit darker, a little bit earthier, although the earth might just come from the fact that this might go... Oof, there we go, I like that. I want to make them darker. You want to make them darker. Here's why. Make them darker, add glow. Just like that. Fix your shit. Alright, eyeball, has a tint of red? Don't know why, don't like that. Pupil, black, that's fine. Iris size, increase it by just a touch. Rotate, why not? Wiki wiki wow, get it back there. Glow, 100%. Now, why do you want glow? It's going to look better in your photos. It doesn't look great now, but once all the colors are there, it looks fine. Like, that looks more natural, sure, and it looks better on Hero Forge and stuff like that, but when you start getting your photos, you want to add a bit of glow. You could reduce the glow, but I just have it all the way up because it really makes their eyes pop, and I think if you were to get these printed out, it'd just look a lot more better. That should be fine. I could increase the iris size a little bit more. That should be fine. We don't want to do it too much. Alright. Bam, bam, bam. Let's get some... Now, I like to get that small detail in first. Torn off the coals. Purist. What's the difference between these two? I like that one. Bit squished, but that's okay. Gunmetal? No. I like that one. Okay. We want the undermost layers of our outfit to be a nice green, and then everything on top of that almost like a protective layer to stop that undergreen from getting dirtier. Because that undergreen would have been like quote unquote her original clothes that she sort of ran away from home, and then everything above that, like, you know, probably like, you probably had like a skirt here, and then you got this above skirt that's like thrown over. Same with this stuff. You got like the under stuff, and then you got over stuff. Although I'm pretty sure that might be her skin there. Let's find out. Let's give her a nice tan tone. Maybe not that tan. I say as I then go for darker. Perhaps a paler would work. That sort of goes weird against her hair. But we don't want her to be like pale, pale. Let's go medium deep 4, and we can adjust it. And then maybe we want to add a little bit of... Is that too light for her ears? I really like it when the Hero Forge gives you the opportunity to have 2 colours mold into each other. Because I think it allows you to play with some really interesting textures like this. And I think that's perfect. Like, your body parts aren't going to be the same. And you can see like there's that touch of pink there as well. On the ears. So you've got like generally the normal, well, like the consistent skin color. And then boom. Her ears have just that touch. And then we want to go down her lips and give her some lips. And teeth. I mean, you can really do the lips any color, but I sort of just do that. Make her teeth white, although I don't think that did anything. May have. Let's assume it did. And then we want to probably go into mix. We don't even have to go into mix, but we'll get this. We'll get her natural hair color, and we'll get them eyebrows done. Now, when it comes to poses and advance, no. I was thinking about adjusting the decal, which is entirely possible. I know it is. That's right, it's in paints. It's actually in paints. Wait, no, you can only adjust the color, you can't adjust the size. Unless it's something like this. No, you could... What? You could definitely adjust the decal. Perhaps I be mistaken. I swear you could though. I think there's some decal that you can change and some you can't, but that's okay. Whatever. We'll stick with it. Piercings, let's just try and make simple. Criminally in sage. Maybe for a nose. And for her earrings, I don't know. It's when it comes to earrings, I'm like, I don't know what to do. With the coloring, it's like 1 gold, 1 silver seems pretty like typical. That's not even gold, eh? Oh, that does actually look better like that. Okay, that should be fun. Pretty standard. Again, when I craft stuff like this, I try create like a base. And then I would like to go back and sort of fix it. And speaking of fixing it, I dislike this now. I'm just going to go for layer B and do layer B on both to keep it consistent. I think that looks better. I would like to make it bigger. Okay. Let's get some clothing done. Yes, that's definitely her exposed skin. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Boom. I'm pretty sure that's her... Is it? I can't tell. I forget. I'm pretty sure the thing I put under her... Like, that kind of looks good as exposed skin, right? Even if it's not. I'm pretty sure it is. But if it's not, then I'm going to keep it there. Because that sort of looks like a dimple. Blah. Blah. We'll keep it like that. Alright. I like to do the small stuff first, but I'm just trying to figure out where to go. Where to start. Let's get... I probably want like the grey that never comes out. Dirty and chrome, that's funny. Kind of imagine her as being too grand. But I don't want to make her look like she's terrible at her job. Surely her bows and arrows are relatively good, right? Not just made of shit. Chrome, that would be too much. Brushed nickel. It's kind of the way to go, to be honest. Feathers, can I do this separately? No, they're all one color. Well, let's make it significant, right? Like, right? Why wouldn't you make it like she's got the blue arrows. The blue arrow. Getting inspiration from somewhere, I just can't remember where that is. Like that. Alright. Now let's make the base of her outfit. Oh. Bottle throttle. That seems pretty appropriate. Almost like a dress torn up? No, because that's like the top layer. Hmm. And we got the cat meowing in the background. 'Cause it's playtime. No, it's food time. Food time, 9 o'clock food time. That needs to be like some sort of like pew 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 that I have. A soundboard. Alright, let's... And these arm guards will obviously be like somewhat significant as well. So... Leather or metal? I don't know, that's why I'm not going to touch that right now. Like the genuine fact that I might not get through like a single coloring. It's insane. People probably speedrun this shit. That's next video. Next stream, speedrunning builds. Speed builds. I'm like, hey guys, you should definitely suggest what you would like to see. And then they join, and I'm like, can only take one suggestion, boys. Rotting. I don't like the idea of like rotting wood, but I mean, it'd just be the same wood. I don't think there'd be a difference in wood, like here and here. Maybe just that ring there. Oh, that goes to the top for that. Oh, yes, it is like the top. We'll keep it like that for now. We'll keep it like that for now. And then a bow, of course, we want to make that a little bit unique. We'll make it unique. Rotting Harbour. Yeah, okay. Although, truth be told, like, nah, maybe actually. We want like a nice, maybe red there, blue, sort of be similar to her. Maybe red. Well, that's actually nice. Brick's red. I like that. Maybe we could just make it black. And that's just too easy, isn't it? Can't make it easy, boys. Where am I looking? What am I doing? Who am I? Genuinely, who am I? Let's get a yellow teeth on this scroll. Maybe even like a brown. Tied up with a feels a little light. Like a little wrap like that. The sun-dried actually seems kind of... Actually, the sun-dried works on that a lot better. And then probably like... something like that. Maybe something like these will be leather gauntlets. And then we might grab that green again. Wow, what a way to instantly just make Robin the Hood, right? Is that cheating? It feels like cheating. Just using that metal. Just throwing it in there. What is that? What am I using? Brush nickel? Yeah. Brush nickel everything. Brush nickel. Brush nickel. Le brush nickel. Le brush nickel. Brush nickel. Brush nickel. I don't know why. I was like, I could just go look for all these other different metals, but I was like, nah. I'm just gonna use it. Alright, let's grab... Negatory, son. know how I feel about that. Gross? I mean, everything feels like it's just got that typical leather feel. Perhaps I need to go for a different... That wasn't the worst idea I've ever had. Oh, I see. Just playing around with some ideas here. Sort of like the low light, highlight. That could be a good one if maybe the outside wasn't so shit. I kind of like the fact that there's brown at the bottom. That was an unnatural decision, but at the same time, it sort of has like that, like you've got a material to put the bag down on, or I should say the quiver on. Maybe it's the secondary color that I don't like. It doesn't feel harsh enough, you know? Oh, maybe that's just it right there. Yes. Oh, don't want that. Oh, no. Undo, sir. Thank you. That's a little bit better. That's a little bit something. Oh, thank you very much, Reese. It helps the overwhelming doubt in one's work, you know? I think... Like, you get to a point in colouring where you're like, man, I'm gonna put so much effort in, and then you get about 4 colours in, and you're like, just gonna paint the whole fucking thing red. But that's okay, we won't give up. We will try color combinations and different unique perspectives on this character until we die. She's already got that tan mixed with the green. Surely like her boots would be easy though. I could probably just go for like a simple rogue black boot, right? I won't get in trouble. No one will call me out. I'm just going full rogue black. No one's gonna be like, oh, look at all these different components you have to paint, and you're painting each and every one of them black. Yes. You know what I might do? Paint the undersole not black. No, that makes it look like a goddamn vampire. But I do want to have it darker. But not... I want it to be black, but I don't want it to be brown. Something just like a tint. To say, hi, I've been walking on dirt. And I think it's black sack. Just gets rid of the same gradient. I mean, I don't just want to mess the rest of her outfit up and make it black. But perhaps it might look something along those lines. Like if I did like that there, that comes out there. Perhaps that comes out there. No, I said I wouldn't do this. Like repainting the colours. But I think I was definitely struggling coming up with like what would be where. I need to make her face a little bit more badass. Oh, she's like not looking. I didn't even realize that this whole time. She's not even looking at the. Okay, well, while her head is here. Looks good there, but not like that. Not like that at all. Okay, tilt, tilt, twist. No, face is in the middle of that. We'll make this work. That's better. Okay, I'm surprisingly not mad about the clothes. The boots, however. I thought I could just do the rogue black and be like, that's it. Alas. It's just not the case. Get to this sword. Ironically, I have not touched this sword. And I say ironically because I'm like, I don't want to do major detail, I just want to do smaller detail. What we might do is, I'm going to assume that her weapons are from the same armory. That's kind of safe to assume, right? Like, you know, you get your bow, you get your sword, same shit. Sheathed. That's a lock, that's the top of it. That's the sword main part. So we probably want, I don't know why I'm looking at here, but no, that's too shiny. That's probably best just to go with like, I don't know why I'm like, I'm gonna go in here for my colours. It's kind of random. It's not terrible. Like, you'd have to assume that, like, these are her town symbolic colours. Like these two. Well, not these two, they're the same colour, like the dark and that. So that's just what they make their weapons out of and stuff like that. I swear I coloured these. I may have undone that without even realising. Is there something I can use from here? Now, is this insinuating? I know this is like the boots category, but like, is this socks? That could be boot. But that could also be like sock to boot, and the boot sort of just starts there. I kind of like the idea that it is a sock. Boot sock. I mean, you gotta wear socks, right? You're wearing a boot. Don't be silly. Boot socks. Absolutely. There's only one other detail that I was thinking of adding in decal. I don't know if it's possible, just because of how I've already done stuff. Oh, I just got rid of layer B. Whoops. Let's get layer C. Okay, bear with me. I get rid of that. I get rid of that. I want to get rid of that. This would be... I guess it would be smudged, eh? I was like, ugh. Let's get a replay on this music. Bring it back. Twitch safe. Animal Crossing Lo-Fi Chill Hot Mix. Twitch safe on YouTube, but I digress. If I do like a... Like I wanted to see if I could give her like tears, but I didn't want to make it, I wanted to make it like a tear, not a makeup thing. Because I don't want to do it black, because like that would insinuate to some degree, like you don't cry that much out of just one eye. But I kind of wanted to just have like running tears from one eye. But then if I was going to do ruin makeup, I might as well do ruin and makeup on both eyes. Yeah, no. It's a no from me. Always gotta love the goth makeup. We love our goth girls, but I think it's a detail that Hero Forge just can't accommodate for yet. And as much as I'd like to put this classic scar in, I wanted to give like a head injury rather than... Yeah, that should be fine. Just as like a minor detail. Oh no, we don't want that side. Oh jeez. What colour is a head injury? That's something I haven't really ventured off into. Is like, what does a head injury look like? I think I'll go with the classic, like, let's go with that to make it look like past bruising. And then paprika red? I don't know, maybe that just like is unnecessary. But then it's sort of hard to believe that at least her situation of getting out of her home was like unscathed. So maybe that is a good idea. Yeah, she's got a little something to show for herself. She got hit in the head. Perhaps knocking her out, making her look dead, therefore they didn't target her. Backstory? Hello? You know? Goes to fend him off, gets knocked in the head. Oh, knocked out, KO, under a bunch of rubble. Uh-oh. You're dead. You're dead to at least everyone that looks at you. You know, then you wake up. Oh no, what happened? Bump on the head. It's small, but effective. I like this idea that also, like, she's leaning back. Like, you can see, like, she's on the bow a bit, but she's dead ass, like, leaning back because of the bad posture I gave her. So, like, this shot is, like, that's her one shot. She's gonna fall under this after this. She's gonna reel it back, shoot it out, and if she misses, she misses. But she needs to hit it. Her life depends on it. I think that should be fine. That should be fine. And then of course, It's amazing. I started this at like 8, just before 8, and it's taken me an hour and a half. That, my friends, is a well done stream. Really getting a simple concept and stretching it out for as long as possible. Let's grab some uniform black gloss. Finish off that base. Now, I do like the idea of staging stuff, like having those extras there. However, I think when you build a character, I think if you're building a character that you're going to be using in D&D Beyond, no, not D&D Beyond, sorry, but like a tabletop simulator or anything like that, I definitely recommend you get your money's worth and you put obviously these extra decals in there because it can really create like an environment. But I think if you just want to show off the character creation, it's good to just have it dull and black, because it's like it's not about the environment, it's about them. And holy shit. That's stinky. Where's the round of applause? Where's the round of applause button? I need to have like... I need to have buttons to make it sound like I'm busy, like people talking in the background, like I'm at a party. Like, I need to get that shit. I need that round of applause. Because that's... yeah, that's stinky done. 2 out of... shit, 6, I think. Dinky done! Where's the emote? Bring out Dinky done. I need a custom emote. Dinky done. That's what we say at the end of every miniature. Dinky done. Next. So yeah, look, we've got some easy, quick features. So okay, we've got the big bow and we've got the color matching in between the bow and the sword and the quiver. So it's like, okay, obviously there's some correlation with like maybe where they got it from, like the armory supplies, you know, the same sort of design. Roughed up boots, traversing a lot, okay. You know, roughed up, torn, what I would assume would have been like a beautiful dress. Like it looks like you've got some torn up undergarments here, which would have been like sort of that base t-shirt that you wear under your cardigan, and that's been ripped up. And then it's sort of like that extra material has been used as like a belt, sort of makeshift belt thing with like a nice skull. So you got this back bit here, and she's torn it so you see some more skin on the sides. More flexibility allows you to shoot that bow and arrow. Like Merida, you know, breaks her outfit to make it look a little bit better. Obviously, you've got some nice, maybe unique arrows, sort of crafted by those beautiful stone gnomes. With a nice signature blue, so you can sort of spot it in the distance from all that green and stuff like that. Amen. Trendsetter. Oh, done. She's fucking done. Save it. My intention, or at least my thought process, was like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have a stream where people suggest, and I make it. And then it's like, oh, look what I made for you. And they're like, oh, that's so cool. And I'm like, no worries, friend. Who's next? Heaven forbid that happens, and I'm like, gotta make it fast so I can get to the next one. Genuinely, it looks like, at least from the time slots that I'm giving for my stream, it genuinely looks like it's going to be like 1 miniature per. But it's, like, I got my own content in terms of like what I would create prior to like any suggestions. But that's not bad. I think I would definitely like to maybe even have like a session, like a teaching session, where I go into the like a breakdown of like a certain tips. Which obviously I'm not gonna like hold off on a video and be like, this is a video on tips for you, you know, and you have to watch that one, and you're not just gonna get them fluidly throughout my streams anyway, where I'm like, well, I do this and I do this and I do this. Or and at least why I do this and how I do this. Because, I mean, if you look back at that, nothing that I did there was overly complicated at all. I mean, if anything, not complicated at all. If you think it's complicated, let me know, and then I can show it, because I'm sitting here like, that wasn't complicated. The position was preset. The colors were more or less just well thought through if you think it looks good. And then it's just designing like the sort of the extra aspects and backstory. You know, why the earrings, why the head bump, why the stuff like that. But alas, alat, dinky done. Hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. Thank you so much for being here. Reese, MVP of today's chat. I love you so much. Thank you for joining. I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to seeing Hannah. I look forward to just having everyone join the chat. And just have a relaxed area. Honestly, like our own little private area. Where we just vibe it. We just have drinks. Maybe? Huh? Why not, right? Have drinks. Have a nice little something something. Create some miniatures. Talk about D&D. Our characters, our stories. I could tell you some serious shit. Some stories. But I'll leave that for next time. I'll leave that for our next stream. So you're just going to have to come back. That's right, I'm already using streamer tactics. You have to come back. You want to hear some good stories about D&D? You will have to come back. Absolutely, we'll do it in person. 100%, 100%. But if you want to come back, if you want to hear some good stories, shit, I guess you're just going to have to tune in to the next stream. And if you didn't watch this stream and you're watching the playback, welcome. And if you want to hear these amazing stories, because I guarantee it, they're going to make you smile. At least one of these stories will make you smile. And if you just need that little kick of extra serotonin, just come back. I'll give it to you. I'll tell you something. I might just give you that little bit of extra serotonin. And we all love that. Easy. Thank you so much for tuning into the stream, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. I love just sitting here, sitting here, vibing, just playing around, getting that creativity out of my mind before we all just get overwhelmed and crash and burn. But alas, thank you so much. Take care. I hope you have an amazing night. And I hope that you've taken a short rest, regain some of those hit points, and prepare yourself for the next battle. Because it's coming. Fight it well. Take care, guys.